Hello, everybody. This is Steve Poulter with GhosTraders. Welcome you to our weekly market summary, and looking forward to what's going to happen this next coming week. We had another do nothing week on Wall Street, with the debt ceiling hanging over our head and the banking crisis refusing to go away. And while earnings are coming in good, they're certainly not setting the world on fire. And what's really important is the forecasting and looking towards the future has been very disappointing. The S&P did almost nothing last week. It opened the week at around 4204, closed the week at around 4191. That is a drop of about 15 points. Just nothing really to write home about. Certainly up or down. So if you're making money on the short side of the market, on the sell side of the market, it's going to be difficult with numbers like that. And obviously, if you're trying to go long on the market, you are not making anything. This coming week, however, we have much more news than we did last week. First off, we have earnings. We're still in earnings season. We're starting to get towards the end of earnings season. However, there is still a lot left. There's a lot of retail numbers to come out. Retail stores that we go to, consumer stores that we go in and buy physical products, tangible stores, brick and mortar stores. So we do have some of that to move, as well as NVIDIA. NVIDIA is probably the biggest company that announces. They announce Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's Wednesday after the market closes. So we do have some earnings plays that could get things moving, but we have some other information that really is going to move the market one way or the other. First off, like I mentioned, we're still very tense in the back rooms talking about the debt ceiling. There's more and more talk of the president invoking the 14th Amendment, which basically gives him the right to meet all of the obligations by the United States. That would certainly end up in court, but we're getting closer to that than I thought we ever would. Once again, our government can't seem to find any common ground, and more it looks like they're digging in their heels just to dig in their heels, not because either side has a convincing argument, in my opinion, that they're right. We know the deal. The debt ceiling has to go up. My personal feeling is that the national debt is so big and the government spending is so big that it's really meaningless. Realistically, we're never going to pay it off. And so for them to use that as an arguing point, I don't know. To me, it doesn't really mean much. It's kind of like when your best friend or your brother owes you some money, you know you're never going to get it back. So probably just better to move on. All right. In addition to that, we have some huge economic news coming out this week. We have the PMI numbers. What that is, that's a survey of business owners to see what money is being spent. The theory behind that being that if the biggest corporations in America are spending money, then our economy is still expanding. They're still looking to grow. They're still looking to expand. If they are not spending money, however, then it's going to be tough for the economy to grow. So that's going to be a big number. We also have the Fed notes coming out on Wednesday. Now, we have two big news items during the course of a month as far as the Feds. One is the interest rate hike. We've been raising interest rates for 8, 9, 10 months in a row now. It has mellowed out a bit. We raised interest rates a couple of weeks ago. We went up about a quarter of a point. Well, not about. We went up a quarter of a point. However, there was a little optimism sneaking in as to if that was going to be the last interest rate hike for a while. What's going to happen on Wednesday, they release the notes, meaning the notes of the meeting that the Feds, when they were arguing and hashing out, not really arguing, but are talking amongst themselves, should we raise interest rates? Well, they make notes, and they've got a tape recorder going, and those notes are summarized and released on Wednesday. Now, if the tone of that meeting says we're not done in raising interest rates, I would look for the market to struggle. If, however, they come out firmly behind closed doors and say we're probably done raising interest rates, then I would look for the market to pop. However, it does not appear that most members on the Fed committee feel that way. More and more of them are starting to speak out. It's getting released. Their own notes are released where a lot of them are saying we have to keep going. We have to raise interest rates, which is bitterly painful for the average American. Right now, inflation is shockingly painful. For the government to say that it's peaked and going down, I think there's a stretch. And they're trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes that'll listen. I do some grocery shopping sometimes for my family. I certainly go to the store and pick up things that we might need, and prices have not come down. In fact, gasoline here in Salt Lake City hit $4 a gallon this week. In fact, it's gone from $3.89 to $4.19 in a week. That's a huge jump. So to say that inflation is coming down, I think, is a joke. But we will find out on Wednesday what the Fed thinks behind those closed doors. And then on Thursday, in addition to a lot of economic news that comes out, we have the granddaddy of them all. That's our GDP, our gross domestic product. The technical term for a recession is 2 consecutive quarters where the gross domestic product shrinks. They do try to spin that number. However, it will be very interesting on Thursday as we see initial unemployment claims, which are becoming more important as the economy struggles. And we will also have the gross domestic product numbers. So my personal feeling, the market is struggling. The market will continue to struggle until we get this debt ceiling taken care of, until inflation truly comes under control, and until we know what direction we're heading with interest rates. So be very, very careful this week. However, there's almost always a way to make money in the market. So go slow, go smart, and make some money. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great week.